Hi, this is CashGrab with another video about the Days Gone Remastered challenges, and today I'm going to be showing my 68k run on the challenge Dead Before Daylight, which has maintained my position as global #1. Now, I feel, to be honest, that it's probably cosplay, me describing myself as world #1 on this one, and I think it's partly by default because when the game first came out, the remaster, this challenge was so broken that it was almost impossible to just even do a normal run, let alone go for a high score. So this isn't a kind of look at me, tell me I'm good, tell me I'm good. This is a run just to show a few different things that I've been trying out. And in all honesty, this was just an experimental run. So you can see here that the scores are nowhere near what they were on the original. I believe Grey Soul's #1 run on the original is like 72k. So the scores are nowhere near that. So I just wanted to show what I've done in terms of kind of experimentation and where I think this run can be taken, probably by more skilled players than myself and or by me paying a bit more attention to some details. But I just thought it might be interesting for players who are kind of trying to get some big scores on this, just to see a different approach and see if there's any validity in it or if there's any way to get to what is my stated goal, which is 70k or above, or indeed to push this a lot further. So I'm kind of going for some different items there. I went for a different assault rifle, went for the one, I forgot what its name is, that I always use on Keep Them Safer because it's pretty good for headshots. It was just an arbitrary choice really. So I'm throwing down an attractor and I'm going to get the growler, and my plan here is I'm going to try and use the growler a little bit more organically, because to take all the freakers upstairs, it's just a lot slower than in the original. So by the time you've done that, you don't have time to do the things you'd normally do. So really this is just an idea, see what happens if I kind of use the growler, just to get the focus kills, which at the end of the day you have to get anyway. So you need 50 focus kills, 50 explosive kills, 100 growler kills, and to survive for the 5 minutes, obviously you need all 4 goals if you're going for a big score. So you can see that this challenge has still got its issues. We've got freakers pouring in through the window, which is totally bizarre, and I don't think is intentional, but hey, who knows. I don't remember this ever happening in the original, so I do think it's something they've done to the code that's just meant the freakers go a little bit haywire, but hey. So I'm just kind of running through these, not nearly as many headshots as I would like, but like I said, I wasn't particularly going for a massive score on this run. It was really more just an experiment to see what would happen if I went and got the growler, came downstairs, did some killing, ran through. Fundamentally, this see what I mean? He's just climbing up there on the wall. So what is he doing? One of the disadvantages of doing it this way is you get the freakers coming from all directions, so that door typically doesn't really get open till right at the end of the run when you come back downstairs. But hey, there he is. Oh, there they are, I should say. So yeah, do the same thing here, just some normal growler kills. Because I've got a few around, I think, well, I might as well use that barrel. Probably a bit of a waste because actually later on there are more freakers around, and therefore you've got more chance of burning kills, which as ever are the kind of key. So then I just thought, right, I'm going to start kind of running through the usual run, because we've got to 50 odd kills, so that's usually the point we do that. And then I thought, well, let's try and get some burning kills here as I'm getting my 100 growler kills, rather than doing the 100 growler kills separately, because like I said, it's too slow. Equally at the end of the run, it's also a bit slow. Plus you're then upstairs, which is not ideal because you need to get all 5 of the waves in order to get a good score. So really, this is more than anything else, it's a kind of a brute strength or volume type run, which kind of relies on killing as many freakers as is possible, because there are 5 waves of freakers, which are usually approximately 50, but it does seem to vary a bit. But actually I get up to a bit of a higher number by the end, which kind of indicates to me there is a kind of 6th wave effectively. So I don't know how deep you can get into that. If you kill more of them earlier, maybe there'll be something in that, I'm not sure. Again here, just a whole load of non-headshots, so with some more skill or with some more attention. There's a whole bunch more points to be had there. So running through the usual sections here, again trying to just catch all the barrels, get a few burning kills. Didn't do too badly there. That one's often not the most productive of rooms, to be quite honest. I've got my 100 growler kills, so now I'm just trying to work on getting as many kills as possible, getting as many burning kills as possible, Again, they don't flow as well as they did in the original, so you kind of do get gaps here, and they get a bit spread out, which hurts the burning kills somewhat. Throw an attractor in there, because that's usually a good way of, number one, grouping the freakers to get some burning kills, and number two, it just makes this hallway a bit easier to traverse. So again, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just killing a whole load of freakers, to be honest. And again, if these were headshots, then there's a lot more points, because you get 40 for a standard kill, 60 for a headshot. And then I'm conscious that this is one of a number of areas which usually you tackle right at the end or at the beginning, depending if you're using what you might call the Borislav method or the Grey Soul method of when you're using the Growler. At any rate, I need to get through here, so again, I'm just killing. Run out of attractors here, which is not ideal. Nearly die. Typical Dead Before Daylight stuff, just the way it is. Yeah, so no attractors there, so I'm just going to have to just blow them. But I've got a whole... that sounded bad. I've got a whole bunch of freakers there, so hopefully I'll get a few burning kills. Catching this petrol can on the way down. There aren't as many around as maybe I'd like, but it is what it is. Blowing this one up, taking more than a couple of slaps as per usual. It just is part of Dead Before Daylight. You can do it without getting hit, but you won't get anywhere near the same amount of points because you need to be close to those flames. And again, just killing. The freakers are actually quite nicely grouped around this petrol can. Again, you get killed. So kind of blowing that up there, kind of hoping that you get a few burning kills. Jump over the sofa. Some of these areas are jumpable. You can just climb over them rather than having to navigate around them, which can help because it means you're not going to get caught as easily. So yeah, a bit more health. And I'm kind of in the last 30 seconds here, so I'm kind of conscious of time to a degree, but I've also kind of run out of things to explode. So, like I said, this is far from a technical marvel of a run, more an experiment and seeing what can be done. So I just might as well blow some more up, whatever. So, I'm pretty sure I'm through all the waves now, or very nearly through all the 5 waves that, the game, announces. Yeah, there you go, that's the last one. But you can see here I'm at 285 kills, so I'm pretty sure effective, and there's still freakers coming. There may be up to kind of 300, maybe even more kills that can be got. So there may be something in that. Anyway, hope you enjoy this run. I know it's not technically brilliant. Hopefully it's entertaining, and maybe it gives some people some ideas on some better routes and some alternative approaches, because I'd be intrigued to see what people have got. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.